Very wide. This guy, cut up. Cut up this. That's now where am I? Okay, that's it. Let's go.
Welcome to another.
Time.
I was just complicated. There's something ahead. So I was Welcome to another exciting episode of the Sports Breakfast right here on Sport 101 live on YouTube. And it's a Monday morning. And when Mondays the crew gather, obviously, we're here to unpack everything that happened in the course of the weekend. It was a hat-trick maniac from Eze, whilst Man City, well, controversially, were stunned by Newcastle. Oh boy, in Spain, Real Madrid dropped massive points at Elche. Also, in Italy, in the Derby della Madonnina, AC Milan once again, at the hands of Christian Pulisic, ensured that they walked away victors. We'll also get into the Champions League. It's the big game on Tuesday. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge welcome Barcelona. It's a big show this morning. Tune in and make sure you are live with us. This is a Sports Breakfast Show. All right, guys. It's a Monday. We are here again, and obviously to talk sports. And if you've not shared the link, please do well to share the link to and with your friends. Tell them the team is here to talk sports. Kindly subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, share. Let's together enjoy sports this morning. Sammy, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's been a very, how do I put it? It's been a very weird morning. But
what's made the morning weird?
Very weird because it looks like a lot of us have been caught off guard.
Oh, you were caught off guard.
Yeah.
I wasn't caught off guard. You were caught off guard.
Anyway, it happens. But guys, we in the comment section, the chat section, keep the chats going, keep the comments going as we unpack everything that took place over the weekend or that happened over the weekend. Obviously, the usual suspect. You heard Sammy's voice. Kofi is around. We're here to talk sports, but there's no better place to start off from than let's get straight into the action. It all happened in the English Premier League. Liverpool once again. This time they were lost in the Forest as they lost at home. Surprisingly, yes, they've had a very terrible, run of form, but surprisingly, they didn't even score a single goal against Nottingham Forest at Anfield. Forest beat them by 3-0. Sammy,
Yes.
what is happening to Liverpool? The Liverpool conundrum, we've spoken about it, we've talked about it, but I mean, I thought at some point they would remedy the situation, and I thought it was going to be this game. If I were betting on this game, at least a home win or a draw would. But to lose at home to Forest by 3-0, it could have been 4 if VR, did not do his thing. What is actually wrong with Liverpool? What is happening?
Well, first of all, I think that with the Liverpool situation, we've talked about it time and time again. We've made a lot of comments on Liverpool, and we all know what the issue with Liverpool is. And
what is the issue? Is it Slot who is not getting his tactics right? Is it the players who have lost form and so they are struggling to perform? What actually is the problem?
We've discussed this even at the start of the season. Maybe for myself or some of us, we saw it coming. For someone like Kofi, he mentioned that Slot will be exposed this season. With myself, I also mentioned the fact that Liverpool would struggle. and it's never a fluke for a team to win the league and defend the league. And that's why it's just a handful of teams that have done that, like Manchester City, like Manchester United, like Chelsea. These are the only teams that have won the league and defended the league. It's a different kind of mentality to defend the league. And for Liverpool, I just feel that it has to do with whatever project that they want to do. I think they were looking at maintaining that dominance for quite some time, and that's why they made that statement in the transfer window. But not, you don't need all the best players to make the best team. And we've seen that happen time and time again. Real Madrid did it with the Galacticos, and then they struggled to win the Champions League. So for Liverpool, I think it's like going over the same thing over and over again. We've seen that Slot wants to play in a certain way. I wasn't surprised that they lost the game. I wasn't really expecting.
Against Nottingham Forest at Anfield.
I wasn't really. They lost at Anfield against Nottingham last season, and so.
But that was against a very good manager in Nuno Espirito Santos. He had built that team.
This thing we say it all the time. Last season when City had that dip in form, when you come up against teams, no matter how bad they are, they know that you're there for the taking. When there's the psychological aspect of the game is that's important, that when a team knows that you are not in a good place, already mentally they up their game because they know they can get something from you. And that's what happened to United a couple of times in recent years, because teams go to Old Trafford and they know that it's not the fortress it used to be. So whenever they come up against United, then they play their best football. But when they go away to certain teams that are dominating the league, like when City were doing that, right in the tunnel, even before the game starts, they know that this is a difficult place to come. So mentally, you know you're in for a difficult game.
Yeah.
So the psychological aspect of the game is very important. But we've talked about Liverpool over and over again, and for everything that is wrong with the team, I think it has to do with the manager. It's the coach, because you have almost all the players that you had there last season. Yes, you have Luis Diaz has left the team, which I think I still don't understand why they had to let him go. Diogo Jota is no longer part of the team, but you still have the core of that Liverpool, especially the midfield there. And so if you watch Liverpool last season, and I've always maintained that was Klopp's team, and then they didn't play so differently from what they did previously under Klopp. And then Slot comes in, he makes a little bit of tweaking in there, and then they win the league. Now you make wholesome changes to the side. You sign all these big players, and then you want to fit all of them into the team. You switch positions of certain players. For example, Szoboszlai, who I think is one of the best players in that Liverpool side. He played at right back, and he's not had that consistent.
He's been playing at right back for a while now.
He plays at right back. He plays in midfield sometimes, and you need certain players in their best positions to deliver. Mohamed Salah is not the same player we know Mohamed Salah to be, and again, that is because Liverpool are playing differently. They are looking beyond Mohamed Salah. The team was built around Salah previously, and now, last week we mentioned it. It is not the same system. And so if you have Isak there, who is supposed to be the main man, and he started that game, the main man up top for Liverpool, then things have to go through Alexander Isak. You have Cody Gakpo on the left. And so I think that Slot is just trying to play a little bit differently, get his own team together, try and bring in some of these new players to, augment the side and play differently. And it doesn't work. The other time I mentioned, it's two things. It's either they hit the ground running, or they will need some time. And obviously, we can see that they need some time. And again, the league is not waiting for you. So, yes, Liverpool, I think, will come good eventually. They might even finish in the Champions League places, as I said the last time. But, before they will pick up that form, they will drop points. And I mentioned that the last points they dropped in the league is not the last they will drop. They will still drop more points. And I still think that Liverpool will drop more points. I think if anything will get better for Liverpool, maybe after the new year, then we can see.
But then the league will have been lost.
The league is already lost for Liverpool. The league is already gone. And so Slot still needs to get his team playing together. He needs to get them to understand whatever he wants to do. But what I think the Liverpool hierarchy needs to realize is that these are top quality players that have just won the league. If you remember with United, when David Moyes came in, he tried to change everything and make things done in his own way and play differently. And we saw what happened in Man United. So sometimes you don't need to do too much. But Slot is trying to, get them playing his own system. And I think that when you make those massive changes, it actually takes a little while for the team to gel, especially when you try to play differently.
Yeah.
And the league is in such a way that when you are found out by one team, or one team plays in a certain way and it works, every other team is watching. And then they'll equally do the same thing and try and get something from you. So that's just how it works basically in the Premier League. And for Liverpool, I don't think it's going to get better anytime this year. I think Liverpool will still drop points, but the team will come good eventually. This season, I think, is gone for Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool is winning any trophy this season. In the Champions League, in the Premier League,
in the Carabao, not in the FA Cup.
I don't think they're that good to compete for titles this season. I think this season, it's about getting the guys playing together. Alexander Isak has come in. We are in November. He still hasn't settled down in the team. Injuries and some of those things. Ekitike started really well, but Isak is in the team. So do you play the most expensive player in Premier League history? Do you put him on the bench and allow Ekitike start ahead of him?
Why he didn't start Ekitike in the game?
Look, it's a lot of issues for Liverpool because the business aspect is there, the commercial aspect is there, and so when you sign players because they are available, it's about identifying where you need those changes. And we've always talked about Mohamed Salah. He needs to be moved on in the next season or two. But gradually, you integrate players that can help the team so that when Salah leaves, then you don't really feel the impact of Salah's absence.
Okay.
But now, here is a case where Salah has lost form. He's not playing well for Liverpool. And I think that it's not because he's a bad player or he's just become bad overnight or he's done. I don't think so. I just think that it is about what is happening with the team. The entire team is not playing well. And the system doesn't seem to suit Mohamed Salah. And for every player, confidence is everything. And if the player is not scoring goals and he doesn't have that confidence, he will be like every other ordinary player. So that's where, as a professional player, you need to psych yourself. The manager himself needs to identify whatever the issues are. And then Liverpool, they just need to work something out. But as it stands now, when you see the team sheet of Liverpool, they look like they can beat any team.
Yeah.
But when it's kickoff time, then they are all over the place and then they are conceding goals left, right, center, and all of that. So I just feel that it's a bad period for Liverpool, but they will still need more time. And I don't think between now and the end of the year is when things will get better for Liverpool. Maybe by the new year, now they are no longer international breaks, so they'll have more run of games. And if the fixtures are favorable, I think they have some favorable fixtures that they can pick up some good results, then it can work out for them. But in the meantime, it doesn't look good for Liverpool.
Kofi, you have always, said that Slot will be found out. Slot is not a good coach. But on Saturday, what really went wrong for Liverpool and Slot?
Tactics. Personnel. More tactics.
He got his tactics wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
What did he do that was wrong on the day?
No, when you play a team like Nottingham, you first of all need to nullify their midfield. Look, we are talking about Anderson. We are talking about Gibbs White. We are talking about, the English have a way of pontifying players, you understand? And Anderson is one of those players who has come to the fore. And then I took my time to watch him. There's a reason why there's a hype around him.
He's good.
He's that good, you understand? I mean, a lot of people even blamed Newcastle for selling him, you understand? So if you look at the potential is obviously up there, you understand? So when you play against a team that hustles and bustles in the midfield, and then you have Gibbs White. He's as good as any midfielder in the league when he's on the ball. You understand? I mean, with the ball glued at his feet and moving at defenders. Look at that Liverpool midfield that started over the weekend. Dysfunctional, absolutely dysfunctional. And you know, Sammy points it out and perfectly. Why would you put your best midfielder at the right fullback position?
But there they do have a huge deficiency.
Which is
Frimpong is out. He's not fit. The other guy, the one who played against Vinicius eventually Conor Bradley.
Bradley.
The coach doesn't really have a lot of trust in him, and so if Szoboszlai has done the job before, and you know he can do the job, why not sacrifice him at right back? And so I think that's the decision that went to he deciding to. And this is not the first time Szoboszlai has played at right back. He's been doing that.
The coach doesn't trust Bradley.
That maybe in a game like this they needed the point. He doesn't want to risk it.
Let me tell you something. Probably you're not paying attention to. When it comes to clubs like Liverpool, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, it's not just about being a coach. It's about identifying what makes the club stand out. And one of the things that has made Liverpool stand out over the ages has been their reliance on youth from the academy system.
Maybe they don't have the materials now.
No, I mean, how can you tell me that somebody who has stopped Vinicius Jr. is not good enough?
He wasn't in the team, actually.
So actually,
there was Joe Gomez in the team.
Oh please, Joe Gomez has been at Liverpool for over a decade. And
No, but Joe Gomez, when Liverpool were in their pomp, when they were being coached by Klopp, used to play at right fullback.
But it's you know, I call him more of a functional player.
It doesn't matter.
He functions around
needs,
a certain
every
element.
team needs that functionality, that element of functionality. And look, because if you watch that game, reason why I am quite disappointed that your best midfielder had to play at right fullback. Watch the game again. Nottingham Forest just moved through Liverpool at will. They kept plowing through them, time without number. And for me, that's a worry. That is a worry.
Should Liverpool consider, I mean, it's too early, but should they consider the thought of if by December the man is not able to remedy the situation, we need to start thinking about getting a new manager? Should they have that? Should they start? Should the board, have a meeting? And,
I like Sammy, especially on Mondays. He's that's diplomatic on Mondays. You understand? Very diplomatic. Very, very diplomatic.
But you are not.
Ordinarily does not want to step on any toes. Padinon to me, man. If you give him the time in the world, he can't do the job.
So they should consider letting him go.
I don't know what they want to do. But the point is that Slot cannot do this job.
But he did it
This job is beyond his abilities.
He did it last season.
Lucky. Who spent £400 million to make a team worse?
And like Sammy said, it will get better. It needs time.
How? How will it get better with Slot? How will it get better? No. How? Tell me, convince me how it's going to get better.
Two defenders.
No.
Hold on. It needs time to work.
Hold on. What is the identity of Liverpool now?
Honestly, I don't know.
What is his playing style?
What is it?
I don't know.
Sammy, what is it?
I don't know. Maybe Sammy says he should be given time, so Sammy knows.
Oh, I think he should, but
No, what is Slot?
No, what is
can easily,
so remarkable
you can
about
easily say, okay, this is what Pep is known for.
a Slot team?
Klopp is known for this. What Hans Flick is known for this. What Ruben Amorim is known for. What is unique?
It's difficult to tell at the moment because
so it means they have no identity.
Absolutely,
because the players are struggling to find it, to find it easy to execute it. So you can't really tell exactly how the team wants to play.
My point is simple: cut your losses.
You should cut their losses.
Yeah, because the guy cannot do the job. Look. We sit here and crucify Ruben Amorim for all the things, but this is a manager who has lost 7 out of 8 Premier League matches. In their last 8 matches, he's lost 7.
That's crazy.
7. Having spent £400 million. You don't sit here and tell me that you should give the man time.
That's a problem.
Look, before the international break, you went to City, you were hammered by 3. After the international break, having had 2 weeks to decipher what it is, the direction that you want the team to be moving. You come back and seemingly the technical team have no stops to what it is that was worrying Liverpool. Look, and I'll tell you why he needs to go.
Why?
First of all, it looks like he has an over-allegiance on some players.
Who are those players, if you think so?
Salah should not be playing for Liverpool at this material time. That's Mole boy. What's his name? That's defender. That defender, that's Konate. He should not be getting near the team sheet. He should not be getting near the team sheet.
Those are the materials they have.
Why is Isak starting ahead of Ekitike?
I don't know. I'm not the manager.
Because for me, if you start making some players untouchable in the team, you are breeding a lot of room for disaster. If I were Slot, and thank God I have no coaching badges, I would easily play a 3-prone attack of Ekitike, and then probably play Chiesa, you understand? And then play Gapo. Because those are the 3 informed teams. Okay, if you want to play Isak because of the price tag, why do you not drop Salah and then play Ekitike on that right side of the attack?
So you think that the manager is not making the right decisions that is helping the team?
He's not. You know, when this whole malaise began, he made a lot of excuses. Oh, we are creating more chances than other teams. We are doing a lot more if we keep playing the same way. And I've listened to pundits like Michael Owen who are pro-Liverpool. You know, if Liverpool keeps playing this way, they are going to create a lot of chances. Eventually, yes, they will lose some goals, but they will end up outscoring opponent. But you see, time has proven that theory was not absolutely right. Now, the point is simple. Liverpool cannot hold the back and they cannot create anything up front. And for me, against Nottingham Forest, like you pointed out, it is very disturbing.
Very, very.
Because this is Nottingham Forest who not too long ago were flirting with the idea of going on relegation.
They're struggling.
So a new manager has come in. Yeah, maybe you can call it the new manager bounce. But a new manager has come in, and now Nottingham Forest go to Anfield, boss the play.
Liverpool did not even get a single goal.
Boss the play. It was, if you look at the scoreline, it was flattering. But if you watch the game actually, it was more flattering. So Liverpool are in all manner of troubles. All manner of troubles. And for me, the manager has proven that he doesn't have the prerequisite requirements or skills to turn the situation around. And, you know, the only thing that Liverpool would hold on to the manager has to be their pride. They do not want to be in the bracket of teams which are trigger friendly. You understand? It's only their pride which will end up keeping Slots.
But
there.
if the situation is not getting any better, you would have to, like you said, you have to cut your losses.
But I am happy the comment Sami made that they will get better after Christmas. Look, Christmas is going to be brutal for Liverpool fans. If you are watching me, 2025 Christmas, it's going to be brutal. Because now the games are starting to come thick and fast in the Champions League, not just in the Champions League, but in the league proper.
And there's not going to be any break.
No, we are not going to give you any breathing space for you to recover.
Yeah.
We are piling on the pressure, full throttle. And the Christmas is going to be brutal. For me, the earlier they cut their losses, the better. Because all of the players that they signed, no one of them is performing.
No, Ekitike is performing.
What are his numbers? Okay, we can leave him.
4 goals.
No, we can leave him out of that.
Yes, he has
we can leave him out of that bracket. Kerkes, Isak.
Yeah. Wait.
I don't want to talk about that guy. I think that I salute Leverkusen where they are the biggest heist of the century. They bullied Liverpool into paying a lot of money for a bank average player. You understand? And then what's the name of that other guy? They salute Leverkusen again. Frimpong.
No, he's
They traded Arnold for Frimpong.
He's barely had about 4 consistent
It doesn't
games.
matter.
He comes
Anytime
injured,
he's
he
played,
he
he's
comes
not
injured,
performed.
he comes injured.
You understand?
Yeah.
And for all of the beautiful stories about Liverpool and they revolutionizing their transfer and backroom stuff and the people who manage the club are doing the right things, this has fallen flat in all of their faces. And I think that a lot of accountability needs to start from the top. I mean, look, we're sitting here giving them A pluses for the jobs that they did in the summer, for the summer recruitment. But in actual reality, this is an E.
Anyway, guys, if you're watching us, this is a sports morning show live on YouTube, live on our channel Sport 101. We're talking about Liverpool and the challenges that they are going through. Kofi believes that it's time Liverpool cut their losses and let the manager go. Some things that they would come good by January, 2026, the dust would have been settled, or dust would settle, and Liverpool will come good. So it will be very, very, premature for Liverpool to say, let's let their manager go. But I want to know your thoughts on this particular issue. What you think is definitely wrong with Liverpool? Why they can't seem to remedy the situation, and if they should start thinking about letting the manager go. One manager that for me is telling everybody that yes, the hype was real and the hype is real and that we are winning the league is Mikel Arteta. Kofi, I'll start with you before I get to Sammy. Yesterday in the North London derby, I mean, Spurs have not won in the last 9 meetings. They've not actually beaten them. So, but Arsenal put down the gauntlet. Hey, we are here for the big trophies. City slipped up. We will not slip up. Beat them by 4-1. A hat-trick from Eze.
21 gun salute
21
to Mikel Arteta and the rest of the Arsenal's technical team. 21 gun salute. I've said it.
They slipped up against Southampton, but they said we're not going to slip up again against Spurs.
This is Arsenal season. If Arsenal do not win the title this season, I do not see any better season that it is that they can win the league title again.
It looks like everybody has concluded that Arsenal is, not that Kano, Arsenal is winning the title this season.
Oh yes, I mean it looks most likely. And one of the things that makes me believe in that assertion has to be the depth in squad that Arsenal do possess. The fact that if you look at the injury list that Arsenal does have, Odegaard is out, Gabriel is out, Gokares is out. So they're key elements of their team scattered all across the major spine. In defense, you have Gabriel, who has become a major piece in the Arsenal block defensively. In midfield, they have their captain out, you understand? In attack, they have their main man out. But you look at the people who came in. Look, that central defender who made his first appearance for Arsenal in the league. What?
Incapi.
He's the guy they got from Atletico Madrid.
No.
One of those teams.
Yes,
that's the name. That's the name.
Yeah, actually,
very, very good player. Very, very good player, and played so well alongside Saliba. Very good player. Flanked by Calafiori, and then there was another makeshift right back. You understand? But you look at the complexion of the Arsenal team, and then you look at the characters who have come in. Look, that is why we keep slating Slot. When Eze came into this Arsenal team, there were calls for Eze to play immediately. What Arteta and the technical staff did was that they rationed the minutes that Eze had to play, because you are coming into a totally different culture, you are coming into a totally different work environment, and they need you to acclimatize first. Then we can start exhibiting your football skills. And I think that they have handled the transition of Eze being a Crystal player to an Arsenal player very excellent.
But definitely, if Odegaard had started, Eze wouldn't have played.
No, that's an if.
And anytime
Odegaard and I hope you are not suggesting that Odegaard and Eze cannot play together, because that is seemingly what you're suggesting.
That is looking at the Arsenal setup.
No. I hope you're not suggesting that.
Looking at the Arsenal
Because
setup,
that is what you are suggesting.
they
And
can, but the Arsenal setup does not permit or
hold
allow
an
that to happen.
entirely different view. Eze comes in, does brilliantly, scores a hat-trick. Arsenal do not play with a recognizable centre forward.
They've not done that in a long time.
No, but Gokares is their man. You understand? And to think that all of these bodies are out. And look, to put the conversation into context, Spurs were the best traveling team in the league this season. So away from home, Spurs are the best team in the league.
Spurs,
No.
In a couple of games, they've not really been.
We are putting
good.
the conversation in context.
Okay.
Spurs are the best travelers in the league this season. You understand? To go to the Emirates and to be manhandled and mistreated and thrown to the bins like Arsenal did yesterday, that was quite a statement win. And for me, from this point, I mean, look, Arsenal have a 6-point buffer between themselves and anybody chasing them.
Yeah, 7 points between themselves and City, 6 between themselves and Chelsea. I think that if they should be worried about any team, it shouldn't be Chelsea. It should rather be City.
I don't know why you keep interjecting me, and then I said the fact that Arsenal have a 6-point buffer between them and whoever is chasing them. I don't know why you want to overemphasize on City and Pep Guardiola. I don't know what your charm offensive about Pep and City is. Okay, everybody knows, you understand, that you're biased towards City and Pep. That's fine, you understand. But look, Chelsea are second.
Yeah.
And Arsenal have a 6-point advantage over Chelsea. I am saying that if Arsenal play to their best abilities, I do not see anybody stopping them. And like Samir has quite pointed out a number of times on this show, the only thing that can happen to Arsenal that will let them capitulate, it has to be the manager. And hopefully the manager has learned his lessons.
Sammy,
Yes.
well, I was actually going there, but Kofi has probably opened up that conversation. I want to ask again. You've seen Arsenal this season. Everybody says Arsenal will win the league. And let me reiterate, they are not saying Arsenal can. Arsenal will win the league. What is that one thing? Let's put aside the manager and maybe he reacting tactically to certain things that put aside Arteta. What can derail Arsenal's season?
Injuries, as I said earlier on. Injuries are the only thing that can derail Arsenal's season, because this Arsenal side has squad depth, and you don't want to have certain key players out for long periods, because Arsenal are competing in 4 competitions, so they are probably going to be playing about 2 matches every week. So you need everybody as fit as possible. Now they have certain players out of the squad. What Arsenal have done in the transfer window is what Liverpool didn't do.
Which is?
Recruit sensibly. Liverpool. You see, this Liverpool side,
They recruited foolishly.
they recruited foolishly. And it's something that we emphasized on at the start of the season, that Liverpool have won the league. They wanted to maintain a certain kind of dominance in the league. So they had to make a statement in the transfer window and bring in certain caliber of players. But that does not necessarily mean that you need those players, or you can actually integrate those players immediately into the team. What Arsenal have done is Arsenal identified, which is something that they should have done the previous season.
Okay.
That's why they didn't win the league. They have identified where they need improvements, and then they filled in those positions. They didn't have a recognized number 9 in the team. They brought in Victor Gyökeres in that Arsenal side. Now, Thomas Partey was out of contract. They replaced him. They brought in Zubimendi.
Yeah. They even
look at
Norgard, on the bench.
Gabriel Jesus injured, Kai Havertz injury issues, and all of that. Then they brought in Eberechi Eze, because last season at some point Odegaard was out for a while, and it actually affected this Arsenal team. Now Odegaard is out again, But what's happening here? Eze has filled into that role and he's delivering. So when I say they've recruited sensibly, again, at some point, there was an injury to Gabriel last season. He's injured again this season.
Yeah.
But Arsenal have proper replacement in Mosquera and then Hinkapie in the team.
Yeah, I think he's from Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah,
The
Leverkusen.
Nkapie guy.
So they know what affected them last season. The reason why they could not go toe to toe with City, it's because these injuries that at some point will come during the season,
They've remedied the
they
situation.
know what to do to fill in those, and we're already seeing it. Gabriel wasn't in the team, he's injured. Odegaard, he's injured. And so at some point, Saka was injured at the start of the season. So they have identified where they would have challenges and where they can fit those roles. But one thing we should recognize is they are still playing the same way. So if anything will go wrong for Arsenal, it's about Arsenal losing personnel in the team where, the telepathy of the team would be affected. And that's where Arteta and Arsenal, the management team, have got it right. So if anything will go wrong for Arsenal, it's if they capitulate again in terms of the personnel that they have.
Which you don't think they will.
I doubt. Now, it can only get better for Arsenal because at some point you have Kai Havertz back. Gabriel Jesus was supposed to be back, but he suffered a setback. You would have Odegaard come into the side. Now you have Eze there as well. Eze, we know, can play in different positions.
Yeah.
He can play together with Odegaard.
That's
There's- yeah.
Won't it affect the Arsenal setup? That's what I'm saying. He can, but looking at the Arsenal setup, you put himself and Odegaard in the same team, it will affect the shape of the team. But I think where I agree with you is obviously because he can play multiple positions, it helps him because if Arsenal decide to tweak the way they play, then they can accommodate both Eze and Odegaard in the same team.
No, if Odegaard comes back, it only makes Arsenal a better team. Because Eze originally, he plays off the left. And I think Eze rather has adapted to playing centrally for Arsenal. He plays off the left. He can play as a 10. We've seen him do so for Palace. We've seen him do so for England. But in this Arsenal setup, I think it has shown the kind of quality that the player has for him to be able to adapt in that central role. And so if Odegaard comes in, it only gives Arsenal even more threat going forward.
But he doesn't start ahead of Saka.
Who?
Eze.
No, they don't play in the same
He
position.
doesn't start ahead of if Martinelli is fit. He doesn't start ahead
How?
of Martinelli.
How?
He's not started ahead of him whenever Martinelli is fit.
But we just mentioned, I think Kofi gave a brilliant analysis that he was gradually integrated into this Arsenal
So you
side.
think he takes over even when Martinelli is fully fit? He takes over from.
Even when Martinelli is fit, he's trying to compete for that position with Trossard. Not to talk of Eberechi Eze.
No, Martinelli doesn't compete. Trossard always comes from the bench.
No.
Martinelli is when he's
Arteta
fit,
has a
he's
way
100% starter.
of managing his side. And look, I don't think that Eze originally was brought into this Arsenal side to come and play ahead of Odegaard or to come and play in that number 10 role. That was not why he was brought in.
Right,
He was
I
brought
agree.
in because he can add a lot to the attack and he's a versatile player. And that versatility is what we are seeing now in this Arsenal side. So this is the brilliance of the recruitment that Arsenal have done. And they haven't spent unnecessarily. They haven't brought in too many players, which is different from what we are seeing with this Liverpool side and trying to play differently and, integrate all these guys into the team. Some will take time. Even Victor Gyökeres coming into the team, yes, he's got a couple of goals, but he suffered a setback. And the setback that he suffered, Arsenal have gone back to what they were doing last season, playing Mikel Merino up top. But you see, the difference is that they have added threat behind him. If Eze wasn't in this team, then we would have been looking at, okay, who would have been playing in that role behind, Merino.
Okay.
And then that would have brought us to this, is it the English boy, the left, 18-1 Neri. Either that or whatever Arteta would have done. So Look, Arsenal, the league is Arsenal's to lose.
The league is Arsenal's to lose.
They have it in their hands. I don't dispute that. But if anything will go wrong for Arsenal, then I think that it will have to do with personnel and how the manager would handle it.
Guys, to wrap up on the APL convo, which of the teams in the chasing pack, albeit 7, 8, 6, whatever point it is, do you think by March would be the biggest of threat? Chelsea, City, or even United? Because United should be in the conversation. If they win today, they definitely enter into the top 5 conversation. Which of the teams do you think that will be Arsenal's biggest competition?
What do you think?
I think that based on history and premise, I would go for City.
The City team?
Yes. Chelsea are so unpredictable.
Let me tell you
You don't know when they will show up.
Let me tell you something. This City team is bang average.
Okay.
There are not so many match winners in the City team.
Okay.
I dare say. The other time before the international break, Doku put on a show, but the guy is average. Doku is average. I would probably want
Chelsea.
to lean towards Samé and some of the assertions that he made earlier in the seasons. If Chelsea recruits well in January,
But how are they even going to recruit well? Who are they bringing in? We've not heard Chelsea trying to bring in any player.
look, Chelsea have the best midfield in the league.
In Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo.
I don't know, but they have a collection of very good midfielders.
I think that Caicedo is the best midfielder.
No,
in the
they have a
Premier League.
collection of very good midfielders. Chelsea do not have the biggest threats going forward. You understand? I think that it's a department that they lack a lot of potency. I mean, that's why I'm telling you that if they recruit right, if they are able to find that right striker,
But you've brought in João Pedro, you've brought in
it doesn't
Delap.
matter. It doesn't matter.
You want to go and bring in another striker
look,
again.
the kind of project Chelsea are about,
You can sign anybody.
they can sign anybody. I mean, they have been quite exploitative about the whole kind of PSR thing. You understand?
And is that they're actually changing
understand?
it? They are changing it next season.
So I think that if Chelsea can sign right, they could probably be in the shouts for. But look.
So you think Chelsea are the biggest
Look,
competition to
look.
Arsenal?
You heard it here first.
United.
You heard it here first. Sammy will disagree.
United.
But when we play once a week, do not have the distraction of
Europe.
Europe.
Even the cup competitions.
No,
Yes.
out of the Carabao
Yes.
already.
So
You understand?
the-
No, Manchester United,
might be the biggest threat to
watch out
Arsenal.
for them.
Sammy,
Yes.
Watch out for them.
Sammy, you've seen the league table. Who or which team will be the biggest threat by March? Which 2 teams? Yes, definitely Arsenal will be there, but which other team would we be having a conversation that they are probably pushing Arsenal to the title race?
Definitely City and Chelsea. But I will lean more towards City. Because City, we know, will not drop points once we get into the new year. That I can bet on. City will hardly drop points. And when they get on that run, it becomes scary for everybody, including Arsenal themselves. Because that game against Arsenal I think it's in April, would probably be that title decider. And City will not be far off from Arsenal by that time. Chelsea, yes, I've always
April 18th.
18th.
At the Etihad.
Chelsea, I've always maintained that Chelsea will always be in that conversation right from the start of the season, because they have a collection of very, very good players that they are not those kind of flamboyant players that play with a lot of flair and all of that, but they would find a way to get the result. If you look at the Chelsea backline, you will not necessarily see a lot of world-class players, especially in that centre-back position.
Yeah.
But they have fighters like Cucurella, like Reece James, who I think is one of the talented players at Chelsea. You see Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo in that midfield. And I'm just looking at the Chelsea front line. It doesn't really scream like fear or threat, but they have a way of going past teams. And that progression that they are making gradually, I think that it's something that we should not take